Learn English. Mia often felt a silent frustration. She understood almost every English word spoken around her, from complex news reports to casual conversations. Her comprehension skills were indeed remarkable, yet a heavy chain seemed to bind her tongue whenever she tried to articulate her thoughts. This invisible barrier was incredibly disheartening. Reading English articles, watching movies without subtitles, and following intricate podcasts were effortless for her. Her vocabulary was extensive, and her grammar knowledge was solid. However, the moment she needed to express herself, words would vanish, replaced by an embarrassing silence. It was a common, crippling dilemma. "I understand English but I can't speak well," she'd confess to herself, echoing the sentiment of countless learners worldwide. This recurring thought fueled a deep desire for change. She wanted to bridge the daunting gap between her robust understanding and her hesitant articulation, to finally break free. She observed how other people talked in English, their effortless flow, their natural rhythm, their confident tone. They conversed without hesitation, their ideas spilling out seamlessly. Mia longed for that same fluidity, that uninhibited expression, to participate fully in conversations and express her true self. Her journey began with a simple but profound realization: listening was paramount, but it was only half the battle. "Why you must listen" became a mantra, emphasizing absorption, but "how to talk in English" was the missing piece she desperately needed to integrate into her daily routine for tangible progress. The first step was to immerse herself completely. Mia started devouring English content like never before. She listened to podcasts during her commute, documentaries during dinner, and audiobooks before sleep. Every available moment became an opportunity to absorb the sounds, intonations, and natural cadences of the language. She focused not just on words, but on phrases, on how native speakers connected ideas, on their everyday expressions. This deep listening cultivated an intuition for natural language. It helped her internalize sentence structures and common idiomatic phrases, slowly building a mental library of authentic speech patterns. This intensive listening phase wasn't passive. Mia actively tried to shadow speakers, repeating sentences under her breath, mimicking their pace and stress. It felt awkward initially, but she persisted, understanding that this imitation was crucial for developing her own spoken rhythm and improving pronunciation accuracy. She understood that truly learning English meant more than just knowing grammar rules, it meant internalizing the music of the language. The more she listened, the more patterns emerged, providing a roadmap for her own verbal expressions. This dedicated practice laid a strong foundation for the next crucial step. Despite her improved listening, the speaking hurdle remained formidable. The biggest fear wasn't making mistakes, but the sheer paralysis of attempting to form sentences spontaneously. This internal block was more psychological than linguistic, a self-imposed silence she needed to actively dismantle with courage. A revelation hit her: if she couldn't speak confidently with others, she could start talking at home. This was her safe zone, her private laboratory. The idea seemed simple, almost silly, but it offered a pathway to practice without the immediate pressure of an audience or potential judgment from peers. Mia began narrating her day aloud. "I'm making coffee now. The water is boiling. I need to add milk. She described objects around her room, her actions, her thoughts, no matter how trivial. This seemingly mundane exercise forced her brain to retrieve and articulate words on the fly, building muscle memory. She talked to herself in the mirror, practicing introductions, answering hypothetical questions, even giving short speeches on random topics. It felt incredibly strange at first, a bizarre monologue, but she pushed through the initial discomfort, focusing solely on the act of producing English sounds and sentences. Recording her voice became an invaluable tool. Playing back her monologues, she could identify areas for improvement, pronunciation quirks, awkward phrasing, or repetitive vocabulary. This self-assessment, though sometimes humbling, provided clear, actionable feedback for her continued daily language development. Mia also started shadowing more intentionally. While watching her favorite English shows, she would pause, repeat lines, and try to match the intonation perfectly. This active participation transformed passive viewing into an immersive speaking exercise, making her feel more connected to the language's natural flow. She would debate with herself on various subjects, arguing both sides of an issue, pushing her to use a wider range of vocabulary and complex sentence structures. These internal conversations simulated real-life dialogue, preparing her mind for spontaneous interaction and strengthening her argumentative skills. Sometimes she would describe pictures or objects in detail, forcing herself to articulate precise adjectives and descriptive phrases. This exercise enhanced her descriptive vocabulary and helped her move beyond basic expressions, allowing for richer, more nuanced communication in everyday scenarios. The initial awkwardness slowly began to recede, replaced by a growing sense of confidence. The sounds felt more natural on her tongue, the words flowed with less effort. Her home became a sanctuary of self-improvement, a place where mistakes were learning opportunities, not sources of embarrassment or shame. She realized that talking to herself wasn't just practice, it was building a mental bridge. The fear of speaking, once an insurmountable wall, was slowly crumbling as she familiarized herself with the act of verbalizing thoughts, making the transition to public speaking less daunting and more achievable. Mia also paid close attention to how other people talked in English, not just for vocabulary, but for conversational cues, pauses, fillers, and politeness expressions. She noticed subtle nuances, like how they managed turn-taking or expressed agreement, which are crucial for natural social interaction. She watched interviews, talk shows, and even simple street conversations captured on YouTube. She analyzed their body language, their eye contact, and how they used gestures to complement their words. This holistic observation helped her understand the nonverbal aspects of effective communication, beyond just speech. Mimicking these real-life interactions in her home practice sessions helped her integrate these elements. She'd pretend to be an interviewer, or a guest, practicing both roles, imagining different scenarios. This imaginative role-play made her home practice sessions feel more dynamic and realistic for future use. Her focus wasn't on perfection, but on progress. Each small improvement, each phrase articulated smoothly, was a victory. This positive reinforcement, built on consistent effort, fueled her motivation to continue pushing her boundaries and tackling new challenges in her speaking journey and overall development. The combination of extensive listening and dedicated solo practice began to yield remarkable results. Mia found herself thinking in English more often, the internal monologue shifting from her native tongue to the language she was striving to master, a significant mental breakthrough. The shift was subtle at first. A thought would pop into her head directly in English, or she would mentally formulate a response in English without consciously translating. This spontaneity was a clear indicator that her brain was rewiring itself, becoming more adept at processing the new language. Slowly, hesitantly, she started seeking out opportunities to use her newfound skills. Casual greetings with neighbors, asking for directions, ordering food, these small interactions became her proving ground, each a mini victory against her long-held fear of public speaking in real time. The initial conversations were still a bit rocky, marked by pauses and occasional searching for words. But the crucial difference was that she no longer froze. The words might not be perfect, but they came out, and that was a monumental step forward, boosting her confidence immensely for next time. She joined an online English speaking club, initially just listening to others, but soon gathering the courage to participate. The supportive environment and constructive feedback from fellow learners and facilitators provided a safe space for her to truly flourish and expand her conversational range in comfort. Every conversation, no matter how brief or simple, was a learning experience. She learned to embrace mistakes as natural parts of the learning process, not failures. Each stumble was an opportunity to refine her expression, to try again, and to gradually improve her overall fluency and accuracy. Mia started engaging in more complex discussions, sharing her opinions on current events, describing her hobbies, and even telling personal anecdotes. Her ability to articulate nuanced thoughts grew with each successful exchange, demonstrating remarkable progress in her expressive capabilities over time. The flow became more natural, the pauses less frequent. She found herself responding spontaneously, her mind no longer struggling to translate from her native language. This effortless exchange was precisely the fluency she had dreamed of for so long, a testament to her consistent, diligent practice. Her confidence soared. What was once a source of anxiety transformed into a wellspring of excitement. English became a tool for connection, for learning, for exploring new ideas and cultures, opening up a world of possibilities she had previously only observed from a distance, feeling isolated. She realized that fluency wasn't about speaking without an accent, or using complex vocabulary every time. It was about being able to express herself clearly, effectively, and with confidence, to convey her message without undue hesitation. This practical definition of fluency was empowering and achievable. Mia started watching YouTube videos specifically on how to talk in English, not just for content, but for practical tips on pronunciation, intonation, and conversational strategies. She picked up specific techniques, like using filler words naturally, or rephrasing when stuck, enhancing her fluency. She discovered the importance of linking words, of proper stress and rhythm. These subtle elements, often overlooked, significantly contributed to how natural and comprehensible her speech sounded. Mastering these phonological aspects added another layer of polish to her emerging English voice. Practicing with a language exchange partner helped her apply these new skills in real time, receiving immediate feedback. These reciprocal learning sessions were invaluable, offering authentic conversation practice in a low-pressure environment, allowing her to test her boundaries and learn from others' responses. They discussed daily life, cultural differences, and even professional aspirations. These varied topics pushed her to expand her vocabulary and practice different registers of speech, from casual banter to more formal discourse, broadening her linguistic range and adaptability considerably over time. Mia found herself not only speaking English but genuinely enjoying the process. The initial dread had evaporated, replaced by curiosity and enthusiasm. Learning became an adventure, a continuous discovery of new words, new expressions, and new ways to connect with people from around the globe. Her transformation was complete. The person who understood English perfectly but couldn't speak a word was gone. In her place stood a confident, articulate individual, ready to engage in any conversation, embracing every opportunity to communicate, her voice finally matching her comprehensive understanding. She had learned that the journey to fluency wasn't a sprint but a marathon, requiring consistent effort and unwavering patience. There were days of frustration, moments of doubt, but she never gave up, knowing that each small step contributed to the larger goal of mastery and confident expression. The advice she would now give: start talking at home. It was the safest, most accessible starting point for anyone feeling the same anxiety she once did. This simple act provided a crucial bridge from passive understanding to active, spontaneous speech, paving the way for real-world interactions. Why You Must Listen was not just about comprehension but about internalizing the music and patterns of the language. Listen deeply, imitate, and absorb the natural flow. This foundational step is non-negotiable for building genuine fluency and speaking with authentic rhythm and intonation. How to improve your fluency was a blend of these active and passive strategies. Consistent listening, dedicated home practice, observing native speakers, and then bravely stepping out to use the language in real conversations. This holistic approach proved incredibly effective for sustained progress. How to improve your English encompassed all these elements and more. It was about creating an English environment, thinking in English, and constantly seeking out new learning opportunities, whether through media, conversation partners, or structured lessons, fostering continuous growth and skill refinement. Mia's story became an inspiration to others struggling with the same problem. She shared her journey, emphasizing the importance of daily, actionable steps, and the power of perseverance. Her personal transformation proved that anyone could bridge the gap between understanding and speaking fluently. She often told them, "Don't wait for perfection. Start speaking now, even if it's just to yourself." The act of speaking, regardless of initial quality, primes the brain for communication, breaking down the psychological barriers that often hinder progress more than actual linguistic challenges. Her friends noticed the dramatic change. Conversations that once felt strained and awkward now flowed effortlessly. Mia could express complex ideas, joke, and share personal stories with ease, truly participating in social gatherings and professional discussions, demonstrating her profound progress. Professionally, new doors opened. She could confidently network, participate in international meetings, and even deliver presentations entirely in English. Her improved communication skills directly translated into career advancement, proving the tangible benefits of her dedicated hard work and commitment. Travel became richer, more immersive. Mia could truly connect with locals, navigate foreign cities with ease, and explore different cultures beyond the surface level of a tourist. Language was no longer a barrier but a key, unlocking deeper, more meaningful experiences wherever she ventured. Her journey was a testament to the power of deliberate practice and self-belief. It underscored that the secret to how to talk in English wasn't magic, but consistent, strategic effort, transforming a silent understanding into a vibrant, expressive voice that resonated with confidence and clarity. Mia, once hesitant, now confidently stated, "You understand English but you can't speak well." You absolutely can. Just follow a simple path, listen intently, speak courageously at home, observe others, and then step out and talk in English with confidence. Her message was clear and inspiring. Her voice, once a quiet whisper in her English journey, now rang clear and strong, a beacon for anyone navigating the path from comprehension to confident communication. She had not just learned English, she had truly embodied it, making it an integral part of her identity and daily life. The world of English was no longer a distant mountain to admire but a vibrant landscape to explore. Her fluency was not just a skill, it was a freedom, a bridge to new relationships, new knowledge, and a richer, more expansive life filled with endless possibilities and exciting adventures. So, if you're stuck understanding but not speaking, remember Mia's journey. Your voice is waiting to be heard. How to learn English effectively means combining listening with active speaking, regardless of initial proficiency. Start today, and watch your fluency blossom over time. Take that first step, no matter how small. Start talking at home. Embrace the awkwardness, celebrate the tiny victories, and commit to consistent practice. Your path to speaking English fluently and confidently is within reach, waiting for your dedication and perseverance to unlock its full potential.